Hello, guys. This is Predecessor Origins, my take on it. This is strictly just fan based and fan told. We're on episode 3 right now. Episode 1 solidified what was going on in the world. Basically, the gods created this planet, and now the planet is decaying as well as the gods that were there. And the beings that were left to help the gods, or supposed to help the gods, basically abandoned their posts and started living their own lives in their own civilizations. And now, because of that, the world's crumbling, and they're trying to figure out what's happening. In that episode, we got to meet Morgesh and Faye, and we got to see exactly what happened in that. If you want to check that out, go ahead and check that video out. It is a really good starter for the first season of what I'm doing. The second episode had Gideon and Lieutenant Bellica's father in an interrogation room and talking about what has been happening in the world and how people are adapting, basically, by using magic, technology, and other crazy things that were left behind to discover from the gods. And now we're at episode 3, and this is going to take us to Kira and Zarus. I find it very fitting, just the simple fact that these were two of the first characters that were originally created, not from Paragon, but strictly from Predecessor. The Omega Studios created these characters from scratch. So I wanted to give them a little bit of spotlight and a little bit of, respect in that aspect.
Kira, remind me again, why are we walking in this dreaded heat?
If I had to explain to you every single time, I don't think we would really get anywhere. Remember my vision, the one I told you several months ago. I told you that I would randomly show up and we would have to gather them.
Gather them. Oh,
I know you don't agree, but that's not the point.
it's not that I don't agree. It's the fact that we haven't even known what they're capable of. A band of misfits sought to try to save the universe, that which we don't even understand. It's a fool's errand. We might as well just gather the people we know that can fight.
The ones you are referring to, they don't fight for the right reasons. And you know that. You know what they have done. And you know what the people that we're fighting are capable of.
So your answer, let's go down the list here. We might as well, since we have time. So you're sitting here telling me that, one, a person that can't control the whole universe biting inside of him, waiting to explode and bring everything around him, everything that he loved and cared about, to dust. You think that's a good idea?
A man that can control the universe? Imagine if you were able to harness that power. Imagine if he can control it. And I know just the discipline he needs, and you do too, considering you've went through the same thing.
All right. Then you have a misguided lieutenant who just can't seem to keep things in line. Everywhere she goes, drama and destruction wakes her in the behind. What's the point of bringing someone like that, some chaos-driven maniac that has no right to what is really the law and which really needs to happen? She has a good compass. She's a good person. And because of that judgment, you believe that she can't do the job? Or are you afraid she can do the job better than you? Again, anger is something that you know more than I do. You try to act like these are negatives in these people, but you know damn well that you've made them a positive.
So don't come at me and act like you don't know what I'm talking about. When we can save these people, when we can turn these beings that have found the ability to harness powers from the gods. We're not special. And you know that.
Then how about this? A woman that has been banned from her own people because of how corrupted she is with magic. She can't help but taint everything that she's touched. Everything that she's seen and looked and passed just rots away in her wake.
That particular being you're referring to has the power of death and decay. The ability to look past life and to look through death itself. Yeah, I say that's a pretty good ally. And if we can be able to teach her and show her that there is good in this world worth saving and not destroying.
You just gotta say the good inside of people. Where were you 10 years ago?
I've discovered a lot. I've abandoned my own people, so I know exactly where she comes from when that comes into state. It's not always picture perfect when you're at a family. Or do you know that? How's your relationship with yours, Zarus?
So, these people are supposed to protect us, supposed to be the new saviors. Because you believe that the Paragon effect is coming back.
I had the image, the dream, the vision, whatever you want to call it. It was clear as day.
We, over 100 years ago, the gods prevented that from happening ever again.
And yet, we're here sitting back, witnessing the history being rewritten and be retold. This may be a new timeline. This may be a new universe. But that doesn't mean that the same things will not happen if we don't do something different. There's a reason why we weren't involved. And when we weren't involved, they failed. We have one other person we have to get. But we have to endure a hell of a storm to get there. In the meantime, the people that you think aren't worthy will go through a growth. And at one point, they will need our help.
So, the Golden City then.
The only city that's left that's worth exploring.
We have a hell of a journey then.
Well, at least we know where we're going this time.
I've been through a hell of a lot of fights before, Kira. But this endgame that we're talking about, once we all gather together, have that heroic moment, do you really? Can you really?
Yes. I will be able to kill her.
Kira, she's your sister.
That's never stopped me before. And that's sure as hell never stopped her.
There's a reason why y'all's father chose her. It's not because of strength, but it's because of will. They deemed her the count, gave her the land, gave her the ruling. What do we have again? A handful of people that have the powers of the gods that have not been able to tame it yet? You believe that is worth? You believe that's the route we should go? If you honestly believe that, I will follow you, but you will have to be damn sure that this is the way we were gonna go.
Zarus, look at me in my eyes right now. I would not even dream of putting you in harm's way, knowing that a plan like this wouldn't work. It's going to work. We will make it work. It was destined to work. Besides, Zinx told me that I was a smarter one.
And what about the fourth? I'm not working with him.
Listen, I know he's not really the smartest person around, and I know he's definitely not the shyest.
The man has blonde hair, gloats about glory, and talks about nothing but his own ego. Yeah, I'm gonna have a hell of a time with that guy.
Zarus, calm yourself.
He wasn't even destined, by the way. He wasn't even chosen, and yet you want to take him.
We need him. Someone that can literally bring themselves back to life. You don't find that useful? And has the ability to harness holy magic itself to purify? You don't think that is worth it?
He wasn't chosen. I'm leaving it at that. Bring him if you want. I'm not being nice.
We have the people. And in 2 years, we'll be able to meet them at the city. For now, we have to concentrate at what's ahead. Isn't going to be easy. We'll have to go through the hunt, ascension, and then the storm. Can you handle that?
I've been through the gladiator, chick. Have you been? I've won how many times? You're asking me if I can handle it. Please.
Well, let's get going then. We have a hell of a journey.